Some of the couples that we've interacted with struggle with conflict. And let me tell you some things that we have learned about conflict. First of all, every couple deals with conflict. It's not conflict, it's not the amount of conflict, it's not that you argue about X, Y, or Z. Everybody argues about money. Everybody argues, well, not everybody, but most people argue about money. They argue about in-laws. They argue about things like how to spend their free time. They argue about how to discipline children. Or they argue about work stress or school stress bleeding over into their relationship. You see, the thing with conflict, it's not about whether or not you have conflict, but it's how you manage it. So here's one trick to manage your conflict well. Learn what it means to see and to know your own emotions during this time. If you can begin to find out what's going on behind this conflict, what emotions does it bring out? What ways in which do I feel threatened or scared or worried or afraid? And if you could do that and begin to identify your emotions and then help your spouse or partner be heard to understand their emotions, some great things can begin to happen. My wife and I would always have this conflict, and it revolved around our ability to just simply know how to spend money. So sometimes one of us wanted to spend a little bit more or save a little bit more. But in reality, our argument about money wasn't about whether or not to spend it, whether or not to save it, is what it meant to us. I was always concerned that we were going to run out, we needed to pay the bills, that we would start to have a checking account that wouldn't balance. And Elisa would always want to save and do the same kinds of things, but she also wanted to have fun and to encourage and to have an enjoyable time together and not worry about things so much. So we learned about what it meant to have these certain emotions as underlying a lot of our conflicts. So begin to pay attention to your heart. Begin to pay attention to what goes on during conflict. And here's one piece of advice. Whenever we have conflict, there's something that we do. Actually, whenever we have any conversation, whether it's conflict or not, we have something that's very interesting that we communicate to the other person on an emotional level. It's called a transfer of affect. That is, we transfer in a conversation with somebody whether we like them or dislike them or don't care about them. Somebody once said that every conversation we ever had transfers affect. Now, what does that mean? It means my nonverbal behavior, my emotions come out of me. They bleed out of me. They kind of permeate all of my kind of being with the person, and some people are pretty good at picking those up. So I might say, I'm not angry. My face, my nonverbals, can give away that I really am angry. What we need to learn to be able to do is to say and to understand, I am communicating a lot with my heart, with my actions and my nonverbal, and I'm transferring affect. So here's the challenge. During times of conflict, what am I saying to my spouse? Do I say that I like them, that I hear them, that I want to understand their perspective? Or do I sense or give off the feeling that I'm frustrated, or that I'm not happy, or that this is really making me angry? You see, one of the best things we can do when we're looking at our hearts is to transfer that affect that I'm with you, I'm paying attention to you. You know, John said this in his amazing gospel, right? In John 13:35, he said, by this all men will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. So think about that. The ability to know that you have love for one another is something that other people can see by your behavior, by your actions, not even so much your words. So if someone was to watch you in your relationship during a time of conflict, would they be able to see that you love this other person? Sometimes people can just reach out and just say, honey, I'm here. I know we don't agree, or I know this is hard, but I want you to know that I love you deeply and I want to hear your heart. And that very transfer is something that we can do not only with our words, but even with our actions. So as John again challenged us to say, by this all men will know. What a great opportunity. Because you see, Francis Schaeffer said this, it is during the midst of our conflict, when things aren't going well, when things are hard, when there's really big disagreements, that's when the world gets to see how much we really do love one another, how much we really do love God, how much we really are His disciples, because the world can see that we treat each other kindly, with kindness and generosity and understanding. And when those emotions are transferred, especially during times of conflict, it makes the world take notice that we love this other person. We love a person even if we disagree, and that oftentimes comes in when we're able to understand those deep emotions that we have, that we pay attention to them, we ask God to protect, to be there, and then we seek out another person, we walk with them, we hear them, and we communicate to them regardless. I'm committed to you. I love you, and I want to understand and hear you, so let's do this well.